Good evening, Kitty Q. So, cruising the coast. I've actually heard of cruising the coast. I have a friend, Earl, who lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and he's been to it. I've never been to cruising to the coast, but I've actually heard of the event itself. But your father is on the actual coast itself. That's cool. I guess as long as it's not hurricane season. So, but it can be fun. But this weekend, we've here where I live locally, we have the hydroplane races. It's not just the jet powered hydroplanes. These are they have those, and then they have the old piston hydroplanes that come here. There are 12 of those, and then there are I don't know how many of the other ones. I never go to it because it's a freaking nightmare to get in and out of for parking. On one city or the other. Because it's on a river in between two cities. But we've got that, an air show. There are two for sure car shows that I know of. One's a classic car show. The other one is a rat rod and car show. It's got motorcycles as well, custom, vehicles. Ones that they won't let in the regular car show. This is an alternative one for, and they're both being put on by they've got very good sponsorship and stuff like that. Business wise, and cities and communities sponsor both the shows. Then there's a street fair, and where all the vendors in these different plazas they have it for a week this weekend instead of being in their buildings with like, hey, come to my business, everybody goes outside. They set up tables outside in tents and stuff like that. So you walk through this, if you get shaded instead of being out in 108-degree temperature, that goes on at the same time. Then there's a sock hop street dance. Where at the cup, there's like prizes for the best outfit, best dressed couple, 1950s sock hop. And then there's live bands and stuff like that that go on during that. See what else is there. Then there's art in the park, which is 300 plus vendors who are small independent artists who set up booths and do artwork. My wife and them went to that before they got ready to leave. They're actually leaving in the morning, so they're headed to Seattle. But they went to that this morning, and everything from people who do paintings and um, craft made like soaps and shampoos and stuff like that. Small time vendors who are just starting off in business. Plus, there's like 40 plus different food trucks. It's a huge event. Like this weekend is just jam packed. The only thing that is not going on in my local area is auto racing. There's no auto racing this weekend at the local racetrack. Otherwise, everything would be popping this weekend. But see here, good evening, Sal. Good evening and welcome to tonight's Killers Walk Amongst Us or Killers Amongst Us. I know it's Friday, it's not Saturday, and it's not Sunday, and I'm live. And a little bit here, give it another couple minutes, and then I'm going to give everybody kind of a rundown into what's going on and why am I here live on Friday as opposed to Saturday or Sunday? You always are live on the weekends, not on Friday. But as you see this scrolling by, on the bottom of the page here, gives you kind of an outline, and I'll go over the actual, rules and an outline of how walk, this entire program is going to work, and that I won't have to explain it every single time after that. So this is something that I've wanted to do for an awfully long time. The idea came to me years ago. And several times I planned on doing it. I just never did it. But now, and I'll get into it in a little bit here. Now is I have to do it. So, and good evening, Bonnie. Welcome to tonight's Killers Amongst Us. I hope everyone had a great week, leading up to tonight, and I hope you have a great weekend. If you're here and you normally are here for Saturday morning page two news, or previously it was coffee brew, there will be no stream tomorrow. For the first time in probably 4 years, besides the week in August that I take off, there will be no Saturday morning stream. It's on hiatus. I put a community post out about it and to let everybody know that there will not be a Saturday morning page two news or coffee brew. Ivory Lady. Good evening, Ivory Lady. I hope you had a wonderful week. I'm glad you could be here with us tonight. Another 50 seconds, and I'll get into a little bit about why I'm here live tonight and not tomorrow. But rest assured, we will be doing trivia on Sunday. That is never going to change. We are still going to be doing live trivia on Sundays. If you enjoyed trivia night, you're going to love tonight's. All right. With all that said, why did I put page two news on hiatus? I'm going to give you a little bit of background on how long I have been here on YouTube first. I started producing content for YouTube on August 27th of 2007. It is now 2025, in case you're just seeing this in the future and we've colonized Mars and you're watching something on a thumb drive. The day August 27th that I started on YouTube, I released my very first video. It was a Leonard Cohen video. It was actually his music, and then it was in a tribute to my friend Carol. God rest her soul. She has passed a long time ago, but it was something for her. She was still alive when I made the video. It was only about a 2-minute video itself. I didn't produce my second video on YouTube until March 20th of 2009. And that was a Motley Crue video about Shout at the Devil. And it was a political themed video. I didn't release another video, my third video, for almost another 3 years after that. I didn't go full time making content on YouTube until June 3rd of 2018. And I'm not going to tell you, get into why I did it. But let's just say I wanted to stop someone who was going up for parole. And that's the video I released on June 3rd of 2018. July 23rd is when I started to take this the first video I did that I really made a conscious effort. I mean, I released videos in between, June 3rd, 2018 and July 23rd, in there. I made some videos here and there and released them, but I didn't really take it seriously. It was just a hobby to me. I didn't go full time until much, much later. From 2020, okay, 5 years ago. From 5 years ago back, now the YouTube video counts and view counts and stuff like that are not accurate on any channel in America prior to April 13th of 2020. That YouTube had a glitch in their stupid system that either completely erased people's view count or it exaggerated view counts for people. So if you watch a video once, it only counts as one video. If you watch it 50 times, it only counts as one view. That's the way the system is supposed to work. But in 2020, they had a glitch where some people were getting like 2, 3 views, number count views per video, when only one person watched it. So if they watched it once or twice, or they fast forward and rewind it, it counted again and again. But anyways, since that glitch in 2020, I have 16,800,000 views. That's not a glitch. Let me repeat that. 16,800,000 views since 2020. I'm just over 35,000 subscribers. Yes, it's not very good. A lot of people continuously watch and take part in streams or watch videos every single week and have never subscribed to my channel. Other people they thought they were subscribed and they're not subscribed anymore because YouTube unsubscribed them. But they still see my videos in the next suggested video. I have 1,766 full-length videos, 849 short videos, that is 60 seconds or less. Now a short video can actually be up to like 2 minutes, I think. I have 819 live streams. I know this is boring and I'm drowning on about this. The reason why I'm not doing page 2 news, it's on hiatus, and I'm live tonight, is because the views for page 2 Coffee Brew is down 71.25% over the last 3 years. I keep on banging my head on the table, trying to, build an audience and viewership for it, and it's not working. It's not just the time, it's the content itself and the way that I'm presenting it. So I'm taking a break from it to redesign it and relook at it and refocus on what it's supposed to be and what it was meant to be originally. So here we are. It's Friday. Welcome to a Friday Night Live. With that said, Gone Girl, good evening. Kitty Q. Anyone else that I missed? Well, that looks like that's probably about it. But Gone Girl, and to anyone else that I may have missed, good evening and welcome to tonight, Killers Amongst Us. All right, with that said, Killers Amongst Us. This is how this works. You will receive 15 clues to try to identify the killer. All the clues come from court records and or FBI records. Comment as we go who you think the killer is. Clues may fit more than one killer, yet ultimately only one killer in the end. Any pictures you see are not to be used as a reference to ID the killer. Use any means you want to figure out who done it. Ask a friend, ask the chat, phone a friend, Google it. None of it is cheating unless you consider it to be cheating. With that said, tonight's suspects. Would you like to play a game? Let's begin. The 3 suspects. Every time there will be 3 suspects of who the clues are, and you're trying to figure out which one of these 3, all the clues that you will see tonight, belong to. Is it Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris? Ray Norris is the same guy. He went by Ray or Roy, but his real name was Roy Norris, okay? So I'm going to present you clues, 15 clues that are only pertaining to one individual. Yes, You could say that some of them are kind of vague and it may be another person, but they're only pertaining to one person. At the end of it, I'm going to give you time to think about it. But anywhere along the line, if you were, if, you know, after like the fifth clue, you think you know who it is, go ahead and shout it out or type it in the comments section. So the first clue tonight is, I get myself my little window here. This killer committed his first criminal act at the age of 6. The crime was simple theft, now classified as petty theft. Again, you're trying to figure out, is this Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris? All the clues are pertaining to only one, but they could fit. I mean, maybe Dennis Rader committed, a crime when he was 6 years old. Was it theft? Was it simple theft? Or was it Roy? Or was it Ted Bundy? Who is it? The first clue is this killer committed his first criminal act at the age of 6. Kirikou has for beer. Bonnie is going with Norris after the first clue. Clue number 2. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a number. We are counting down from 15 to number 1. Clue number 2, or clue number 14. The killer we seek to uncover tonight thought about killing years before ever doing it. They confessed later on it was probably when they were a preteen. The thought came to them. Was it Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris? Which killer thought about killing years before ever doing it, but they believed that the thought came to them as a preteen? There are 15 clues, Bonnie, that are about one individual. It's one of these 3 gentlemen, either Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris. The next clue, clue number 13. According to the BAU, that is the Behavioral Analysis Unit, with the FBI, better than 60% of their confessions given behind bars have been exaggerations or outright lies to make themselves sound more important or scary. Who is this? All these clues are about one individual. You need to figure out which one it is. You can guess anytime you want, Bonnie. It doesn't matter if it's the first clue, the 15th clue. At the end of all 15 clues, I will give everyone time to try to figure out who it is. Next clue is the killer we seek to identify tonight traveled outside of their comfort zone to find victims, making them a rarity in the serial killer world. Good evening, Gala. Welcome to tonight's Killers Amongst Us. This killer we seek to identify tonight traveled outside of their comfort zone to find victims. Next clue. This killer used countermeasures to throw the authorities off their trail as they hunted and killed what seemed like at will. This killer used countermeasures to throw authorities off their trail as they hunted and killed at what seems like lot at will. Who is it? There are 15 clues. It's either going to be Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris. Who is it? All these clues are about one individual, one of these three guys. Next clue. According to the FBI, this killer had an idyllic memory, could recall exactly how each and every victim was left and what they were wearing years later. Is it Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris? Again, all of the clues are about one individual. Which one is it? Kitty Q says, I think it's Norris. Ratwell. Next clue. The killer we wish to identify tonight revisited his victims or the location after they were discovered so they could relive the experience again and again. Who is it? Dick McGiggity. Good evening, Dick McGiggity. Welcome to tonight's Killers Amongst Us. Making tacos for dinner? Ooh, tacos sound good. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 2025, I had fast food for dinner tonight. I went to Burger King. I had a Whopper meal. The Whopper was really good. Fries? No. I prefer McDonald's fries, but they were still good fries. They were hot, they were fresh. And I'm not a big fan of fast food, but I had fast food tonight because I didn't have time to cook. I had fast food tonight for the first time in 2025. All right, next clue. Law enforcement initially believed this killer's victims belonged to 2 or 3 other killers. They even had suspects they believed were the killers. In case y'all not familiar with Dirk McGiggity, that is Mr. Frosty. We knew him as Mr. Frosty for the longest time in the comments section and here on live streams. Dirk McGiggity is Mr. Frosty. Next clue. Every place this killer went, he was always ready to kill. If the urge got to be too strong to kill, he had a fully stocked kill kit. Which killer is this? Is it Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris? Again, all of these clues are to one individual, but they could fit more than one. Your job is to figure out which one of these 3 all of these clues belong to. Frosty Dirk. Next clue. In the history of this killer's murders spree, he always needed corrective lenses, i.e. glasses. However, he sometimes didn't wear them because he felt weak wearing them. Which killer is this? Is it Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris? Which killer is it? Next clue. The killer we seek tonight was fondly remembered by others he grew up with that were really surprised he became a serial killer. Which one is it? Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris? Smoke them if you got them. And yes, I know, I have to oil the stupid spring in this chair again. It's like the third time this year I've had to oil the stupid chair. Maybe I need a different grease. I've been using lithium grease. Question number 4. This killer felt and said in his own words, I got a sense of release and relaxation from watching them die. Was that Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris? Again, all of the clues pertain to only one killer, even if the clues may fit another. Anonymously posted the position of a victim. Kitty Q is going with it's either Rader or Norris. Next clue. When he wasn't killing, he blended into society and looked just like any other neighbor you may have right now today. Is it Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris? Again, the clues could pertain to more than one of them, but are all about one of these three killers. Next clue. The killer we wish to identify tonight was truly a sociopathic killer. He felt nothing for anyone and cared little for this world. Who is it? Is it Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris? Kitty Q is Norris? There, could be. There. And the final clue of who this killer we're trying to identify tonight is, this killer kept trophies from victims, not all, but some, especially from those he really enjoyed killing slowly and watching suffer. Is it Ted Bundy, Dennis Rader, or Roy Norris? Bonnie is back on Norris. This killer kept trophies from victims, not all, but some, and especially from those he really enjoyed killing slowly and watching suffer. That is all 15 clues. I will now give you a couple of minutes to think about who this killer is in your answer. You can change your answer. Maybe you guessed before that it was Norris, and you think now that it's Bundy or Rader. But you have a couple of minutes now to think about who you think all of these clues are about. Average Lady is back on Bonnie. Me too, Bonnie, on Norris. Sal's going with Rader. Sure. Kitaku is Rader, going with Rader. And Gala is BTK, Rader. Who is the serial killer or the killer that we are looking for tonight? Again, all of the clues that I gave you tonight come from court records or from the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit and their files on this individual. Again, I've been wanting to do this for a couple of years, a Who Dunnit series, and this just felt like after going through and looking at the numbers for how things have been going for my channel, this has got to be it. I got to do it now. But who is the killer that we are seeking tonight? Dirk McGiggity says Norris was second fiddle to his buddy Whitaker. Bundy's memory sucked. So Rader. The comfort zone question is the outliner, says Bonnie. And Sal's his last guess, Rader. The correct answer to all of the clues tonight are Roy Norris, who, again, as Dirk McGiggity pointed out, was a serial killer with his buddy Lawrence Bittaker, convicted of only 5 murders, but may have killed as many as 14 plus rapes and robberies. The link there is to the Whitaker and Bittaker, Norris and Bittaker, Lawrence Bittaker and Roy Norris's Wikipedia page. But they're all of Roy Norris. Unfortunately, the Roy Norris Wikipedia page has been altered more times than I care to remember. And somebody actually at one time had Roy Norris as Ray, which was his nickname that he did go by, Ray or Roy. But they had the middle name as Michael. His middle name is not Michael. It never has been. He didn't even use Michael as an alias. Did it entertain you? If so, please subscribe. It's free to be a subscriber. So, question to everyone who watched tonight live. YouTube says the largest growing audience on YouTube for live streams are people watching on their TV. 23.9% of all the people who watch my live streams are watching on a television. Which device are you watching on? Are you watching on a TV, a tablet, a cell, a PC, or other? YouTube says that 23.9% of all those who are watching my stream tonight, or streams, not just tonight, probably, but most likely, are watching on a television. And that is my fastest growing audience, is people who are watching on a television. Galen never thought of Norris. Gayla is watching on a cell phone while she's having tacos. Every lady is watched on a TV but answered on her cell. Sal is going with C, cell phone. Dirk McGiggity on a cell. Okay, now while I have everyone's attention, before you all decide that you have to jet off to more important things tonight, because we all have more important things to do, right? Or other things to do with our days and nights. In the future, when I do these actual live streams on Killers Amongst Us, it is going to be, I'm going to have two guests on. Two people at random from the actual audience who are watching are going to play live. I'm going to bring you up, and you're going to be, and it's going to be something like this. Where I am here, there's going to be a circle to my left. There's going to be a circle to my right. And the question will be at, in all of it will be at the top here, where above me, right there. But I'm going to randomly pick two people. I'm going to put an invite in the actual live stream. And then when we get two people, it's going to be a live with two people up who answer. Everybody else can still answer in the comment section what they think the answer is. And that's why we go back to the actual rules, an outline of the actual question itself. It says clues come from the, you can read the comment section, whatever you want to come up with the answer. If I post it and two people decide that they do not want to come up, you don't have to turn on your camera, but you do have to turn on the audio so we can hear your answer. And you're going to be playing against the other person. But you can use any means you want to come up with the answer. And every episode will be the same way. Two people playing against each other, and the comment section can be helping those individuals itself. Again, if we don't get two people and only one person wants to do it, then we won't have two people on. We won't even have one. We have to have two. Because the way that I have this design, where I'm right here in this circle, it would be one person to the left and one person to the right of me. With me being the judge and moderator in the middle of the whole thing. Will, are you doing Sundays or are you off Sunday? No, Sal. Nothing is changing about trivia night on Sundays. Trivia night is staying exactly the same. Grab my paper here. Yeah, it's actually 2 pages. Viewership for trivia. Viewership for trivia since last year of January when I did it. Trivia night viewership during the actual live streams themselves is up 3%. 3% total. Those who watch it later on is up 31.15%. There is no decline in people wanting to watch trivia or the content itself. So there's nothing is going to change about trivia. I mean, I might make some visual changes here and there to make it better and more appealing to visually to you, but we are still have, and Bonnie took part on iPad. I bought my son a new iPad. This is his old one. See the Apple logo, iPad. There's nothing wrong with it. Well, except for the battery. The battery refuses to charge 100% anymore. I plugged the thing in. The most we can charge that thing up to is 50%. It gets to 50% and it will not move past the 50% mark. To replace the batteries in this iPad, it costs more. I can buy the same exact iPad again, same model, everything. I can buy the same one for the same price that it costs to replace the batteries. That's ridiculous. And of course, they don't want to make it easy to replace the batteries in these things. That's something that is proprietary to just, Apple. They don't sell them directly. It's other companies who make the batteries. But good luck if you have an iPad product, phone, cell phone, a tablet, laptop. They are the biggest sticklers about letting people replace their actual products. If you take it someplace and they replace the batteries or whatever, or fix your phone, your iPhone or whatever, ask them if is that an actual iPad, or iScreen for your phone or whatever it is. Ask them, did Apple make that, or is it an aftermarket piece? I bet you $100 it's the aftermarket, because they don't want to sell their actual products themselves for people to repair their stuff. Even though you have the right to repair laws here in America, they still are, thorns in everyone's asses, especially in the repair market. Bonnie, I forgot. What killer are we doing Sunday? Well, Bonnie, you haven't forgotten, because I haven't told anybody. I'm not sure yet. I actually have 3 complete trivias that are done right now, and I have not decided on which one it's going to be. That's the honest truth. It could either be Rose Blanchard. It could be another one, part 2 of Carl Eugene Watts. That could be part 2. We did Carl Eugene Watts last weekend. It could be part 2 of that again. Or the next one, of the other one I have done is on. It's just a random. It's leftover questions from other trivia nights where it could be multiple different killers. I have 3 of them done right now, but I just haven't decided. I haven't even texted anybody. The group of people who want me to text them to let them know. Just haven't done it. I have a new one. my son's old one, 11 Pro. I just bought my son one. The one that replaced this is a iPad Pro. I don't know the model on this one because it's in a tiny print right here where my finger is below the iPad. Yeah, I have no idea what model that one is. But yeah, it only charged at 50%, so I bought him a brand new one for his birthday. We had his birthday last weekend. So if you take it to replace it, get an Android, problem solved. Oh, I have it. My tablet isn't actually, it's a Motorola, and it works perfect. It uses Android technology, but it's made by Motorola. My wife has got a Samsung. My daughter has a Samsung. But my son, he's an Apple boy. He loves his iPad, his iPhone. But he can't call anybody and nobody can text him. But he does have Wi-Fi. It gets him onto YouTube so he can watch, cartoons on it, shorts, stuff like that. I don't have a preference for any of them, other than the fact that I actually repair things, on the side, like cell phones. I can replace screens and the batteries and everything else. It's the Apple products that are a serious pain in the ass, and they make them that way on purpose. They do not want you to repair their products. Just like farm equipment. If you're a farmer out there, or a farmer, John Deere don't want you to work on their damn tractors, the newer stuff. They don't want you to work on it. Case and all the other companies out there, that make tractors, they'll tell you how to fix it and they'll give you the parts and everything else. John Deere don't want you to mess with anything because it's proprietary to what the company, especially like the GPS, electronics units, like stuff like that. They'll sell you a wheel or a hub or a attachment you can repair. But where a lot of the other companies are like, yeah, well, what do you want me to know? Do you want this to fix? Okay, this is how you do it. You need a new one, a new tablet. Yeah. He gave it to me because the screen has a crack. But this one, that is probably the 8th, 9th screen that I've replaced on that actual tablet. They're not that hard to replace, the screens, but Apple themselves don't want to sell the actual screens or the glass, the touch glass. It's another company out there that makes the same product for it to replace it. It meets the OEM specification. There's nothing wrong there, and they work perfectly fine. It's just Apple doesn't want people to sell those products. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. The whole world is a monopoly, says Gala. Yeah, to a large extent, it is. But right to repair laws, we have them all over the United States, right to repair. And it doesn't matter what it is, your television, your washer and dryer, we have rights to repair laws. But some companies kind of, they just get in the way because they don't want to. There's no money in them selling parts to repair things and you to keep them operating. They can sell you a brand new one tomorrow is what they really want to do. They want to sell you a new one. Well, if your washing machine breaks and it only needs like a $50 bearing, what would you rather do? Pay the $50 for a new bearing on your washing machine, or $900 for a new machine? if Maytag or Samsung or whoever made your washer could get away with saying, you know what, we don't want to sell them the bearings, make her go buy a new one. You know, and if you maybe you're dead set on that brand, Maytag or Mana or whatever it might be, Samsung. But it's the way people are. A lot of people are brand loyal, even if it it costs it that you can't repair it, or that company don't make the parts available to repair it. Okay, well, if here's another company that steps in and they have the part. Oh my God, that bearing's not $50. It's $300. Well, $300 is better than $900 for a new machine. So I guess I'll pay the $300 plus the labor to repair it. Now I'm only into my total cost is only $500, but it's still better than $900. Well, I mean, you got to wash your clothes somehow, right? Or you got to find a laundromat. You got to replace the screen. It's not that hard. You can buy all the tools online to do it yourself if you know how to do it, Bonnie. It all depends on how good you are at your hand-eye coordination. I hate to think of what the people are that make these things, because these screws are just little tiny little things, really, really super tiny little screws, and stuff like that are in them. And then the way that they're made like this iPad is made from the glass this way. It's not made from the metal case down to the glass. It's made the opposite direction, from the glass up. Is the way that they're manufactured. Cracked screen. You can find probably quite a few places, depending upon where you live, Bonnie. Cell phone repair shop that does that. A lot of them do it. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed, the Killers Amongst Us. Like I said, I've been wanting to do this for a while. The idea came to me, several years ago about a Who Dunnit series, but I just never got around for one reason or another. I just never got around to doing it. I originally wanted to call it Who Dunnit, or Killer Among Us, but there is somebody else who does Among Us, so I changed it to Amongst Us. I know. Nope, no gala. Page 2 is on hiatus. There will be no Saturday morning streams until I put it on hiatus. I put a community post out there on YouTube as well. And then you if you're on 411 Now's Facebook or Twitter, you saw the same message as well. That I put it on hiatus until I can sit down and rethink, and redo and think about what was the real purpose of doing it in the first place, and why is it that Coffee Brew, Page 2 News, has not been hitting, with the audiences, and it's not getting a viewer, watch time and attraction that it should have. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. A lot of people love to come in on Saturday morning and they chat. And to tell you the truth, it's kind of disheartening to see, 15 people in the actual Saturday morning coffee brew or page two news, and I end up with three, maybe six likes out of 15. So obviously, people don't even like it, but they enjoy the fact that they have a comment section where they can chat. Great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't like the content and you're not there for to watch the content, why do it? So I put it on hiatus until I can figure out what I'm going to do. Yeah, it very well may come back in the future. Um, but there's no way I'm going to be streaming. If it does come back, I'm not going to be streaming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's not going to happen. That means that one of these programs would have to change days, of the week or time. So, but anyways, it's on hiatus until I can sit down and review and go over why is it not hitting. Is it the time of the day on Saturdays? Instead of doing it, at 8 a.m., should I be doing it at 11? I don't know. I haven't dug into it yet. I just know right now the viewership isn't there, the retention isn't there, the people who watch it and support it isn't there. So maybe I have to change, the entire format around. I don't know. I mean, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but that's basically where it is. I'm doing it every single week, banging my head on the wall, trying to improve it and make it better, and it just never was working. And it's not just 6 months, it's well over a year, almost a year and a half. So I've been trying to improve it and make it more, enjoyable and still getting the same results. Like they say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. And that's where I've been far too long with the program. I don't want to end it. I enjoy making the program. I enjoy doing the program. It's just, what do you do? How do we grow the audience more than 8, 9 people, just like this? So, hope that answers your question. But there's definitely not going to be a Saturday morning program anymore, or at least not for a while, until I can sit down and go over it. You have a great night, Sal. Thank you again for joining us tonight. And I'd like to blame this, on maybe it was the algorithm, with YouTube and other things that are not, clicking. It's not that. I see a lot of other people, who do that though. Hey, my views are down. Please, like, share, do all that. Please subscribe. I got better things to do with my time than beg people to, watch my content. And I don't think anybody wants to hear me sit here, and beg for money and beg for viewers and subscribers. If you like the content, you like it, right? I mean, there are channels that I watch, and if they would start doing something like that, I'd be like, I just don't want to hear that. And that's just me. And I'm sure you're like that too. And there are other channels where people just beat you over the head. They have a scroll that says, "Give me your money. Here's my links. Here's my Cash App." Or they forget about the entire audience and of people who are there, their community, just so they can thank and kiss up to the person who gave them $1. I don't want to be that person, and I guess in the end, if none of it ever works, and I stay exactly where I'm at, I guess I stay exactly where I'm at. I just have to start thinking about this more as a business and not just for my own, pleasure and for the pleasure of a few. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does, but Because I really enjoy the hell out of live streaming Saturdays and Sundays. I do. I do. There's no way around that. I mean, I enjoy not only doing it, but offering something that's educational, and thought provoking in that aspect. And it also gives an escape, from the world out there. We're always constantly, being bombarded with negative news and things in our life. A little good thing, your life, may not be going great, but here's some more crap to pile on top of it from the world around you. We can sit here and play trivia, or enjoy fake news, on Saturday morning, and not have to worry about the fact that someone just took another one of your constitutional rights away. So I know I'm rambling. I'm the first channel you subscribe to. Thank you, Gail. I appreciate that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That is Killers Amongst Us. Now, the general premise of this entire thing is going to stay the same. There are certain little things here and there that will be tweaked along the way, but they're going to be Friday nights from here on out until I can figure out what I'm going to do about Saturdays. Maybe I'll have Fridays and Saturdays, and maybe trivia will move, but I'm going to still offer all three. Or maybe this will move to Thursday nights or Monday night. What, I don't know. My slate is clean for the future. All I know right now is I have to take a look, and think about it all more as a business instead of just what I want to do. Because that's obviously not working for the audience of people who want to watch it or are watching it. So, all right. That's the end of my rant about all of it. I hope you all have a great night, and I will see you Sunday for trivia night. Again, it's at the same time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 o'clock, Mountain, 6 Central, 7 o'clock on the Eastern Time, 12 midnight in the UK. So, till then, you take care. Stay safe out there. And as Purple always says, you never know who's going to be standing next to you next, and you never know who's going to be knocking at your door. Bye.